broke loose.
Welcome back, guys, to Cheddar Esports. Do not forget to give us a follow on our Cheddar Esports Instagram for all the great content our social team is creating. And maybe one day you'll see a clip of Jimmy freestyling on it, too.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't be so hopeful for that one. But what we can be hopeful for is a great interview with Jessica Bolden, because that's coming up right now. The Rainbow Six Pro League Finals for Season 9 just wrapped up in Milan. That's in Italy. And joining us now to recap all the action and give us a look forward into the year is Jessica Bolden, head coach and analyst for Penta Esports. Hey, Jess, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Fantastic. Thanks so much for joining us here today. All right, let's talk about Season 9 finals, right, of the Rainbow Six Pro League. Just wrapped with Team Empire taking the victory over EG. Break all the action down for us from Milan.
Look, honestly, I think from the beginning, a lot of people were considering Empire to be the favorites of this finals. I certainly was, and we had a lot of people going for EG as well, especially North American fans. So it wasn't surprising that the final ended up between both of those teams. Unfortunately, Dark Zero getting knocked out by Empire pretty early on, and a couple of other teams getting knocked out expectedly. So to have the final between these two sort of titans of Rainbow Six was absolutely incredible, and it really went the full yard.
Really, really great tournament to be watching.
Yeah, and then also Penta G2 didn't make it in, so can you talk to us a little bit about the Pro League so far?
Yeah, look, honestly, Season 9 was a bit rough for Penta. Unfortunately, we had a roster change at the start of the season, so we spent the first half of the season really trying to synergize our new player and get him involved as best as we could as quickly as possible. Second half of the season, we were really dominant, and it really pushed us up to the top 4 EU very quickly. For G2, they also had a bit of a rough season from start to end, and they're usually the titans of Rainbow Six all around the world. So we had a bit of a hardcore season in EU, but yeah, I think the titans really came out on top, being Team Empire.
Awesome. All right, so what's next for Penta Esports, right? Like, now that Season 9 has wrapped up, what are you guys doing for the rest of the time coming until Season 10?
Look, before Season 10, we've got Vegas. The Vegas minor is at the start of next month, and we'll fly all the way there to hopefully get our major spot, which will be in Raleigh in North Carolina, I believe. So if we can snag that spot at Vegas, it means we don't have to go to DreamHack Valencia. But if we don't, we'll also be at DreamHack Valencia as well.
Awesome. Well, let's take a second now, right, and really talk about your background, because while I was doing some research before the show, you have a master's in criminology. Used to teach at university, and now you're the head coach of Penta, as well as an analyst, commentator, and a stage host. So what really happened? How did you get into all of this?
It's a little bit difficult to explain to people, because obviously whilst I was finishing my master's degree, I started Rainbow Six. I was playing Call of Duty pretty heavily at nights before that, and then I moved over to Rainbow Six pretty quickly. And then, I was teaching criminology law. I ran a private tuition business on the side, and at nights I was playing competitive Rainbow Six Siege at a semi-professional level, and I couldn't do it all. Which I found out very quickly, unfortunately. And I moved to a sub position, but I couldn't really give it up. And I decided, you know what, I'll always have my degrees. Let's try and get into esports. And now I live in Europe, so.
You could say it worked out.
Yeah, it definitely worked. I mean, hey, it definitely worked out. It definitely transitioned. And I'm curious to know what your thoughts are on this, because we discussed this earlier about DreamHack Valencia, the 100K Women's CS tournament. And when that was announced, there were some, I wouldn't say a lot, but there were some people that didn't like the fact that it was a women's CS tournament. What do you think about that? And do you feel like this is a good step towards making it more inclusive and making it more encouraging for more women to be interested in going into the competitive space?
I think there's a clear distinction between games like Rainbow Six, and then when you've also got CSGO. And you've got CSGO who've set the precedence of, oh, we have women's leagues, we have male league, essentially. Rainbow Six, it's whoever's the best gets in kind of thing. So that kind of distinction, I think, is not necessary. I think we can have the best of both worlds. I love the women's league. I'm actually in Nordskin coming weekend to cast the CSGO women's finals there. So I know for a fact that I love these women-only events, and I know that it highlights a lot of the skill these women have, but it is necessary to have these tournaments which are mixed and where they're not so mixed, just to highlight the skill level, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be it's a super great tournament, and I know a lot of eyes are going to be on it. Jess, what's next for you? What's coming up in the rest of your year? Because it seems like you're doing a lot of events as well as head coaching Penta. So what's up?
Look, for the rest of the year, I have a lot of travel on my schedule, unfortunately. Once or twice a month, I'll be somewhere in the world. And then, of course, I'll be trying to coach my team and keep up with all of my own content, which I do. So, it's a lot of travel, it's a lot of work, but hopefully I can keep up with it.
Jess, best of luck. Thank you so much for joining us, and best of luck with your next event.
Thank you.
Of course. All right, guys, coming up, esports journalist and, more importantly, friend of the show, Amanda Stevens will be giving us a preview of this weekend's Combo Breaker tournament out of Chicago. Then we're going to be playing the new Team Sonic Racing and racing some other cars, too. You're watching Cheddar Esports. That's Aaron. I'm Jimmy. We'll be right back.
Without licenses.